Hey everybody, Adam from High Desert Hollow here. Welcome back to part 3 of the tree grafting series. If you didn't see the first two, I'll put links in the video right now. The first one is on gathering scion wood and how we prepared it to store it till we were ready to do the grafting. Part 2 was the actual whip grafting, where we actually put the scion wood on the rootstock and join those two together. Now on part 3, we're actually going to be going to putting the rootstock and the grafted trees into the growout bed. It's been about a week and a half since I've done this. The trees have been inside, letting that graft union join together and start to heal over. My trees are already, the scion wood's already starting to bud out from just being in the house. It's a good sign, really good sign. So now we're out here getting ready to put them in the growout bed, which I have back here on the one end of my property, back in a bunch of trees. So it's kind of sheltered. It's not going to get direct sun. It's not going to be baking hot. It's kind of protected from the wind. Just a great little place to try to grow these trees out to get them up to be 1 to 2 year old whips, so I can move them out into the swales and around the rest of the property where I'm planting trees. I'm also going to be planting my chestnuts that I cold stratified at a later in this bed too, and I'll do that in a later video, so I can have them all in one area. I've had a lot of questions on why so many trees, if I've got a tree farm or what I'm trying to do. I don't right now. I've thought about doing that. Right now I've just got 10.5 acres that I'm trying to put into a silvopasture model, which just requires a lot of trees. I want to build it here in southeastern Idaho. We're basically, it's a high desert plain, which is kind of where we got the High Desert Hollow name. This, where I live, used to be sagebrush. 100 years ago, this was all sagebrush. They've converted it all to farmland, and so now what I'm trying to do is trying to bring in a tree-based forest system onto my little piece of property here. And to do that, I need lots of trees, and I can't afford to buy that many trees, so I'm trying to grow them myself. So, if you guys have questions on this, on my growout bed and how I put it together, refer back to my berry patch series. It's the same exact setup I did here to build that, and I went over that step by step on what I did to make that bed, and it's like I say, it's the same thing here. So we're basically, it's just a contour based system with raised beds. That way when the time, and it's nice loose soil, that way when the time comes I'll be able to just dig these trees up when they're in their dormant state, when I'm ready to move them, and move them out to where I need them to go. So just next step, what we're going to do is I'll kind of go over what I got here. So I've got my trees. We've got them. These are the ones in the 5-gallon buckets. Like I said, they're already starting to bud out, which is a great sign. Got a couple simple tools, trowel to help dig a hole, and I've got a whole big old bale of old straw here. What I'm going to use that for is I'm going to mulch everything in real heavy to help keep the weeds down, the moisture in the ground, just give these trees the best chance they can to survive and move forward. So I've gone through and sorted through all the different trees. I've basically got 9 different varieties of apples. Most of them are heirloom apples. I do have a couple of hybrids in there, and I've got the one we've been following through this whole process from gathering the scion wood and everything is Andy's apple. And that's what I've got here in front of me right now. Now I've got them laid out. Now I've got by rootstock sorted that way, and I'm trying to get everything so that we're all together. So like I said, we're going to start with Andy's apple and move forward. I've got them spaced out about 18 inches apart, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury them and plant them just so the rootstock's in about as deep as I can go and keeping that graft union just above the ground. I want the majority of the rootstock in the ground, that way it roots out, has the best chance it possibly has to get the nutrients up to my scion wood that I have here going on here. So I'll bring you up here a little bit closer as we dig the hole and get them in the ground and kind of set, and we'll move forward from there. Okay, so we're here in the bed. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, I've already got it starting to bud out right there. And that's good. And what I've got is I've got 3 different buds starting already. And what I'll have to do when this is all said and done is I'm going to end up coming back here in a month or whenever they really start to take off, and I'm going to pick the strongest one out of these, and I'll trim the rest off, cut it back, reseal it. That way this will be the new leader, basically the new tree taken off, and it'll come off from here, and we'll cut it like that, and what we'll do is or like that or wherever, and that'll turn out we'll train this one of these buds up to be the new main leader for the tree, and it'll branch off of from there. So that being said, you can see I got just this, all my soil is just nice here, is somewhat sandy with some loam in it. It's dang good dirt back here because I've got all these big cottonwoods around me on the back along my canal that have been putting down leaf matter and organic matter into the ground for years and years and years and years and years. So I'm going to take this trowel, we're going to dig down, and I want a pretty good hole in here. I'm going to take this rootstock, and you can see we got lots of good roots coming off of that, and I'm going to get that down in the ground about as far as I can go. I'm going to fill in around it just so that the majority of the rootstock's underground, and my graft union is about 1.5 inches off the ground, 2 inches. That way, that's not, we don't want that buried. We want that up so it'll finish healing and seal up, and we don't want any disease to get into that. And we're just going to lightly pack around it. Get some of that out of there. Making sure my tree tag's open and exposed so I can keep track of what's what and go from there. Now I've only got like, I don't know, 45, 50 more to do, something like that. I've got all morning's worth of planting to do here. So I'll bring you back once I get them in the ground, and we'll come back with the next step. All right, so we've got all the trees in the ground. It's taken up 2 of my beds. I'll have the rest for the chestnuts later. But now I need to be able to protect all these trees, and I want to be able to suppress the weeds, keep the moisture in the ground, just overall top dress the bed. And what I'm going to use for that is I've got a bale of it's just old straw is all it is. You can use old straw, fresh straw, it doesn't really make any difference. It's all just going to, basically I'm just going to cover everything up around these trees just to help, like I say, hold the moisture in, keep the weeds down, all that. So all you're worried about doing is we're taking this straw, and I'm just going to kind of break it up, being kind of careful around those trees. I don't want to break those graft unions are still real fragile. I don't want to be banging them around a whole bunch or anything like that, because they will come loose and then you're going to lose it. All this progress I've made to this point would go away. So, but just basically, that's what I'm looking to do is that right there. We're going to take, and I'll dress this other side down. Basically the trees are supposed to be sticking up through the middle. Should be good to go. I'm going to finish that whole process, and I'll bring you back for an overview after it's all done and after it's all top dressed. All right, everybody. That's the trees all mulched in. Still got plenty of bed space for my chestnuts coming up. Got a little space there. I got some in the house that weren't quite ready to come out, so I had to leave a space for them there. But yeah, so basically on this mulch layer, all we really did, see, that's one of the trees right there. I've just piled that up around it. Like I say, it's just suppressing weeds, keeping moisture in, kind of helping protect those trees, letting them get established a little bit and get them to grow. So pretty neat process. If you haven't watched the other parts of the series, catch up on those. If you like what I'm doing and want to support the channel a little bit, give me a thumbs up. I really do. It really does help out. And subscribe to keep up to date on the most current episodes and videos as I put them out. But anyways, in the meantime, we're just here trying to live a more self-reliant lifestyle and promote modern homesteading. This is Adam with High Desert Hollow, signing out.